Please let the House come to order. Please stand this afternoon as we are led in prayer. The gentleman from Hines, Representative Crudup, will lead us in prayer, and then he will also lead our Pledge of Allegiance. Y'all give him your attention. Gentleman from Hines.
Good afternoon. On my way here, I had one thought and one thought only. It wasn't that. On this Sunday, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you, Lord God, for the beautiful sunshine, Lord God, you've given us. We thank you, Lord God, for you blessing us to be here today. I pray, Lord God, that you will bless everything that we do today. Let your will be done in the midst of it. I pray, that, Lord, that you look over our families and our relatives, Lord. Help us to have just a great and wonderful day. This last Sunday, this Palm Sunday, Lord God, of the last Sunday of this month, I pray that you will lead us and guide us, Father. As we prepare to go into Holy Week, I pray, Lord God, that you will help our minds and our hearts to be stayed upon you. Help us to remember, Father, the reason we're here, and Lord God, what you've done for us. Lord, bless us, guide us, keep us. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen. Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Close the machine, Madam Clerk.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Speaker.
We will have the reading of the journal. Gentleman from Rankin, Representative Powell, moves we dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Report of select committees.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Report of standing committees.
We have reports on the calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of bills and constitutional amendments. Gentleman from Marion, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading of the introduction.
Is there objection to this? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, we will follow that procedure. Resolutions, petitions, memorials, and other papers.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Introduction of guests and visitors. All right, I see no one seeking recognition. We will go to the calendar. Gentleman from Jackson, Chairman of Appropriations, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies of the House, let's go to item number 1, House Bill 889. Recognize the gentleman from the Shelby, Chairman of Committee B, to explain the bills.
All right, gentleman from the Shelby is recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the conference report, ladies and gentlemen, for the Department of Archives and History. It comes in at $34,937,000, which is $10,211,390 above LBR. Let me tell you what we've done on this budget for Archives and History. We have granted them $163,000 in vacancy funding, 2 new head counts for janitorial staff at the museum for $74,367, $56,966 in special fund authority for a new audiovisual staff at the museum, 1 head count, $417,000 for preservation of historic artifacts here at the Capitol. These are the portraits and other things here in the Capitol that need some restoration work and things done. We have put $2 million in the Mississippi Historic Site Preservation Fund, and we have granted $7.5 million in the Mississippi Community Heritage Grant Preservation Grant Program. Now, y'all know that this is a program we have not funded the last 2 years. We have put $7.5 million into it, which brings us to the $10,211,390 over LBR. And that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. If you open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 119 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Go to item number 2, House Bill 1891, Conference Report on Environmental Quality. This one comes in at $273,546,581. This is $1,120,059 above LBR. Let me explain where we are above LBR on this. Granted Department of Environmental Quality $275,000 in vacancy funding, and also $844,714 in the state revolving loan fund match. Let me just hit on that real quick. This is just a 20% match. We'll draw down 80% with this match for grant and water programs back in your communities. This is a total package of 7.75 with the federal drawdown. In Section 9, we have added 6.86 for the clean water grant match. And in Section 21, we have put language. Some of you had concern about this SWAP program, or the State Waters Alteration Program. We have put language in Section 21 that addresses the authority of the agency to not move forward with that program until we have further conversation about it in the coming months. And that's an explanation of the conference report on environmental quality, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 117 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Go to item number 3, House Bill 1893. This is the appropriation for the Forestry Commission. This appropriation comes in on final action at $32,486,187. This is $1,737,921 above LBR. Let me give you that total on where these are broke down. We got $319,000 in critical salaries, $821,000 in vacancy funding, and we restored 14 pens, all in the new forestry job family, which is your mid to low level tech jobs as part of the forestry pay plan we did a couple of years ago. And that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 119 yeas, 1 nay, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Go to item number 4, House Bill 1894. This is the appropriation for that little gym down in Claiborne County, Grand Gulf Military Monument Commission. Comes in at $938,614. That's $430,000 above LBR. I'm sorry. We granted them $345,000 in capital expense for Park Road repaving and milling and repaving plan, and $85,000 in capital expense fund for wiring repairs in the campground, for a total of $938,614, and that's an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? I don't see any, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 118 yeas, 1 nay, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Go to item number 5, House Bill 1896, and move to recommit.
All right, gentlemen's motion on item 5, House Bill 1896, is to recommit. Those in favor of the gentleman's motion indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to item number 6, House Bill 1898. This is the appropriation for the Pat Harrison Waterway District. This is a special fund agency. It comes in at $9,876,696, which is $2,094,464 above LBR. We have granted them as special fund authority $2 million in contractual services for various repairs and work at their campgrounds, and we have granted them $94,464 in vacancy funding for a total of $2,094,464 over LBR, and that's an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 113 yeas, 6 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Go to item number 7, House Bill 1899. This is the appropriation for the Pearl River Valley Water Supply District. They are a special fund agency also, comes in at $28,826,107, which is $6,150,000 above LBR. We have granted them an additional special fund authority of this $6,150,000, $400,000 for a spillway gate study at Ross Barnett Reservoir. As y'all know, these structures are approaching 70 years old, and looking down the road to possibly do some work on those. $4 million for infrastructure upgrades along the North Shore Parkway, and $1,750,000 for continued dredging operations in the Ross Barnett Reservoir. $6,150,000 above LBR. That's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Will gentlemen yield?
Yes, sir.
So when we go $6 million over LBR and we give them special fund authority, where do they get the money from?
They get their money from leases out there on house places around the reservoir. That's where their primary source of income. The campground out there, they generate a lot of just a lot of fees and things.
Yeah. So they have the authority to collect more or less. That we give them that authority, they can raise the fees.
Well, I guess they could. Now, I will tell you that typically, like the campground fee out there on the North Shore.
Yeah.
I think it's the East North Shore Campground. I mean, obviously, they have gone up over the fees through the years. Try to keep them modest, try to keep them in line, but it does not require legislative approval for them as a special fund agency to increase fees.
Look, I wasn't asked the question to be disruptive,
yeah,
but a lot of people don't understand when we give special fund authority and it's $6 million over LBR, that we essentially saying, look, we're not going to take any more of our money. But if you have the authority to get as much of this as you can if you want to do this work.
Yeah, gentlemen, and again, let me expound on that. The biggest part of that, their revenue is derived from leases that they have, these long-term leases with homeowners and stuff out there all along the reservoir and on the banks of the reservoir. That's where the biggest part of their money comes. But obviously they receive a lot of money, and I don't have it broke down in front of me, a lot of money from campground fees and things like that.
We're just giving them the latitude to run their agency as well as they can.
Yes, sir.
And that's been true on these, and I asked this question on this one, but the last 2 or 3, that's exactly what we're doing. That's why they're special fund agencies.
With these special fund agencies, that's exactly right.
Thank you.
Move adoption with no further questions, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to item number 8, House Bill 1900. This is the appropriation for the Public Service Commission. Comes in at $5,333,007. This is $3,312 above LBR. That total amount is just in vacancy funding that the agent has. And that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? See none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We'll go to House Bill 1901. This is the appropriation for the public utility staff. It comes in at LBR, which is $2,556,315, and that's the LBR, and that's an explanation of the conference report, and I move adoption if no questions.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Go to item number 10, House Bill 1902. This is the appropriation for the Soil and Water Conservation Commission. This comes in at final action on $45,088,951. This is $330,659 above LBR. We have restored one position for them. In general funds, we have given them $93,591 in vacancy funding, $70,000 in authority for NRCS education, and $50,000 for the continued Pearl River gauges monitoring and study evaluation on the Pearl River gauges across the state, for a total of $330,659 above LBR, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to item number 11, House Bill 1904. This is the appropriation for wildlife, fisheries, and parks. Comes in at $103,970,232 above LBR. This is $9,746,379 over LBR. That $9,746,000 is broke down as $1,026,000 in critical salaries, $3,113,000 in vacancy funding, $555,000 for 8 new cadets in the new cadet class, $50,000 in capital expense fund for water safety programs, and $5 million in capital expense fund for the parks improvement plan that we did not put any money into last year. It's $9,746,379 over LBR, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Anything further, gentlemen?
Recognize the gentleman from Lafayette, Mr. DeWeese, for his bills. Let me back up, Mr. Speaker. Staff tells me I've got one Senate bill I need to go to. Item number 2 of them. I'm sorry. Item number 54. If we can go to item number 54.
Is there objection to the gentleman going to item 54? You recognize, gentlemen, for that item.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I apologize for that. Ladies and gentlemen, item 54 is Senate Bill 3091. This is the appropriation for the Department of Agriculture. Comes in at $29,212,432, which is $1,043,868 above LBR. Let me tell you what this $1,043,000 is for over LBR. We have put in $375,000 in capital expense fund for elevator repairs or possible replacement at the Equine Center right down the street. We have put in $270,000 in capital expense funds for some fire suppression equipment, floor replacement, and repairs and renovations at the Agricultural Museum, and $398,000 in vacancy funding for the agency. And that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Would you yield, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Can you get for us how much money does all of the agriculture, from the Coliseum to everything that they do? Do y'all have any idea how much monies does that generate for the state?
I'm sure the staff can get that for you. I don't have that here.
Can you get that for us? We just wanted to know what it was that they were generating down there, as opposed to what we're appropriating.
Yeah, we can't do that. I will say, gentlemen, that lady, I'm sorry, a lot of their money that is generated at the fairgrounds is through sponsorships, special funds, and things like that. But we'll get you. I'll have staff get you an exact amount. Sure will. Thank you. Move adoption. No further question.
Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, you.
Yes, sir.
How much money did we give them, appropriate to them last year?
Last year, I'm looking at looks like last year was $29,540,519.
And what did they do with that?
Pardon?
What did they do with that?
Well, of course, they had the operations of the agency spelled out in the bill. I mean, you've got your personal services, you got your contractual services. Let me see right here.
Just to make it real short and sweet, could you also give me a copy of what they earned last year as well as this year?
Sure. You're talking about as far as revenue?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I see no further questions, Chairman.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 114 yeas, 1 nay, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 55, Senate Bill 3093. This is the appropriation for the Board of Animal Health. Comes in at $3,233,049, which is $87,728 above LBR. We have granted them $50,182 in vacancy funding. In general funds, $12,546 in federal funds vacancy funding, for a total of $72,728 in total vacancy funding. And we have granted them authority to escalate $25,000 from any funds for hazard duty pay related to animal disease response outbreaks across the state. And that's an explanation of a bill, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 119 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted.
Now I'll recognize the gentleman from Lafayette, Representative Weiss.
Gentleman from Lafayette.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Get situated here. Mr. Speaker, the first item will be item 12, House Bill 1906.
All right, you're recognized to explain that report.
This is the budget for the Department of Child Protective Services. Our final action came in at $359,007,291, $140,814,395 of state funds. The budget allows for $361,800 to the department to hire 3 new attorneys, $750,193 of vacancy funding, $2.5 million in contractual staff funding, $4.229 million in capital expense funds for their pathway system, and then $60 million for their Title 4E funds. And that's an explanation of the bill, of the report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 117 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next item is item 13, House Bill 1908.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the budget for the Department of Health. Final action came in at $591,084,968. That's $61,633,807 of state funds. There was $1 million to the transfer to the Public Health Trust Fund, $4.5 million in opioid settlement funds, and $60,000 for their Delta Health Center. And that's an explanation.
Questions on the report? See none, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item.
Next item is item 14, House Bill 1909.
You're recognized to explain the report.
This is the budget for the Department of Human Services. Final action came in at $1,683,507,924. Of that, $94,690,585 is state funds. There was $3,359,727 of critical salaries funding, $8,712,935 of vacancy funding, capital expense of $5,100,000 in an IT success project, $2 million in capital expense funds for demolition of some cottages out at Oakley, and $1.5 million for a AOP pilot program. That's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Gentlemen, is there any funds in here for child care?
No, ma'am, there are not funds for child care in here.
Okay, the Senate put the $15 million in there. What happened to it?
During conference, the $15 million is all shifted to SNAP instead of child care.
The Senate put in $15 million in addition to the $15 million that was already in the House version for SNAP.
Yes, ma'am.
So how was that a shift?
I understand that. There's not $15 million for child care.
Are we doing anything for child care?
Not in this bill, we're not.
So, gentlemen, what do we need to go back and tell our constituents after this process is over as it relates to child care?
Lady, I will tell you that I think we all know that this was some federal money that we had for a long time, and as the federal government has pulled more money away, the state has had to pick up the bill on a lot of this, and we've got a massive Medicaid issue that we're addressing, and the funds just were not there to be able to continue the program.
In the series of bills that we've already voted on, the majority of them were over LBR in the millions. So why weren't we able to prioritize child care this year?
Lady, this is just how it ended.
Just how it is, huh?
Just how it
so
is.
we just tell our families, sorry, you have to wait till next year.
We did the best we could. I think you know that we were able to find the 15 last year, and it's just not available this year.
Could we have done better, gentlemen?
Ma'am?
Could we have done better?
I think we could always do better down here, but we're doing the best we can right now with what we've been given.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Speaker.
State your motion, lady.
I'd like to move to recommit this bill.
All right.
For further conference, yes, for further conference.
All right. Lady's motion is to recommit. I recognize the chairman to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would ask that we do not recommit this bill. This has been looked at by many, many people. I've discussed with many of you in this chamber about this issue, and I appreciate all the questions that you have provided and your concern to be able to do it. And I wish we could. Again, this was federal money that is no longer with us, and there are millions of dollars in this budget that we're having to take on ourselves, and I can assure you it's been vetted and discussed extensively, and I do appreciate everyone in the chamber who has asked questions on this and tried to find solutions. But unfortunately, this is just where we are today. And so I would ask that we not recommit the bill and go ahead and move for adoption.
Lady wishes to speak to her motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I know that the Conference Committee and the Appropriations Committee has worked diligently on all of these bills, but I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if we are not providing funding for child care assistance, this is what's going to happen. Parents are not going to be able to go to work. Employers will be impacted. Child care providers, and you may only have a couple of them in your districts, will close because they won't have enough money to take care of our children. You and I both know that we want Mississippi to be the best state to raise a family. And in order for us to have that position, we are going to have to support child care. You have voted on about 15 bills thus far where we have put millions of dollars into these agencies. I believe that if we recommit this bill, we can take some time to find some additional funds that are not federal funds that will come from the general fund to support child care. The money is available. We need to prioritize this issue. So I ask that you support the motion to recommit this bill to conference. Thank you so much, and know that the families will thank you sincerely for voting to recommit this bill. Thank you so much.
All right. Question recurs on the lady's motion to recommit. If you favor the lady's motion to recommit, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. Noes have it. The noes have it. Roll call is demanded. There is sufficient number. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the motion to recommit, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 39 yeas, 76 nays, the motion fails. Do you yield for further questions, gentlemen?
I will.
Lady from Jones.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Will you yield, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just so we can be clear now, there will be some vouchers available for child care from DHS, won't it?
Yes, ma'am. There's no additional money.
And so we're talking about additional money.
That's correct.
Okay, now, you made a reference to something about that we had to address SNAP. Can you explain that to the House, or to me, or to whomever?
I think the Senate's position was $12 million to SNAP. We had 15 in the House position.
But for what, sir? What was that?
For the SNAP program.
So that was to increase the amount of monies that were going into the SNAP program?
By the $15 million.
Okay, now, can you tell me why we elected to do that?
Tell you why we elected to do that?
Well, not me, the conferees, you. Mm-hmm.
Why we elected to
escalate
$15 million to SNAP.
Mm-hmm.
We had extensive discussions with the director of DHS, and this is what he advised we do, and that's what we did.
Can you tell me what he needed this escalation for? For what reason did he need this additional $12 million?
I don't know exactly what he needs it for. I don't run the Department of Human Services. He does. He came with his budget, and this is what we decided to do.
Okay, gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to speak on the bill at the conference report at the proper time.
All right. Gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, you yield?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned, you say a $1 billion budget?
Sir?
You said $1 billion budget
Total.
for DHS?
Total budget, $1,683,570,924.
And of that, how much is state funding?
How much is state funding?
You said 94 million?
$94,690,585.
Mr. Chairman, what was the state funding for last year?
Looks like our general funds last year were 92. Yes, sir, gentlemen. Last year's number was $92,949,992.
So a $2 million increase from last year from state funding.
Roughly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Eubanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will gentlemen yield?
Yes.
Gentlemen, I appreciate the inclusion of language that you put in section 15. It had to do with the Medicaid and Human Services Transparency and Fraud Prevention Act. Myself and several others in this chamber were sponsors of the HOPE Act that passed back in 2017, and it already had language like this in it. One of the things was every 6 months, DHS is supposed to submit reports on welfare eligibility and fraud prevention efforts, and to my knowledge, this has never been done. So I would just ask, would you commit to this body to find out why that is the case and direct the department to actually start following state law and to provide us with those reports?
Gentlemen, I'll be happy to help you any way I can. You are also welcome to call the department and ask for the same.
All right, thank you.
Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Hullum.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Hey, gentlemen, 2 quick questions. If you can, how much in that budget does DHS pay for the outside collection agency to collect child support on people in the state of Mississippi?
We don't have anything in there, do we? The third party to collect child support. Council's getting that number. 1 second.
Okay.
Gentlemen, repeat your question again. I'm not sure I quite followed.
The question is, how much money in the budget does DHS pay for the outside agency to collect child support for the state of Mississippi? Because it's a collection agency that collects the child support through DHS.
1 second, they're confirming. I'm told the total budget for that is $11,196,544 for the program. That's not going to the...
Okay, is that for last year or this year?
That's for this year.
Okay, you know how much it was last year?
Looks like it was $11,223,973.
Okay, and the last question, gentlemen. When it comes to the SNAP, where they gave 12, 15 million to them, do you know how many eligible families will be able to receive the SNAP benefits, and did the SNAP benefits increase on the amount of monies that have been asked for the last 2 years from the recipients?
I don't know the number of the increase. The $15 million was there for this, what the state absorbed with the 25% admin cost running the program.
Okay, that cost us to run the program. Is that part of the FADA initiative?
Well, it's part of the federal dollars that went away. That's the $15 million is replacing that. That's what it is.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
Gentleman from Washington, Mr. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman, you.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, what was the overall budget on contractual services that Department of Human Services had last year?
Last year was $149,024,320. Was that your question, or you wanted this year's?
That's how much we spent last year on contract services.
That's correct.
What are we spending this year?
$99,265,338.
So we cut it by $1 million?
We cut it by $50 million.
About $50 million?
That would be my math.
Okay, what happened with that extra money that was cut? Where did it go?
I'm told that was just one-time money we had that was spent last year, which is reflective in the inflation last year.
Okay, so can you tell me, out of all those contracted services, what can be done in-house rather than outsourced?
Again, sir, I don't run the department. I'm grateful for those that do, and as I said to the gentleman from DeSoto, feel free to call over there and ask him. I'm happy to help you with that.
I can make my own phone calls, but what I would like to know is, since we cut some money out of the budget, and appears that we have a little extra than what we anticipated, why we can't take care of the child care program? I'm confused by that. When there's been hours and hours and months and almost a year worth of testimony that this program is insolvent. So you don't have daycare centers in your community?
Gentlemen, we did not cut money out of the budget. Again, that was one-time contractual money that was spent last year that we don't have this year.
So you still answer my other question. How many daycare centers do you have in your district, gentlemen? Do you know?
Excuse me?
How many daycare centers do you have in your district? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure how many we have in my district.
Are you aware how many that open or closed?
I'm not exactly sure on the total number, no, sir.
Are you aware how many small businesses are affected by this procedure, not putting adequate resources in place?
Gentlemen, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you mean. It's something that I certainly wish we could do. But again, last year we were able to get a little bit to start, and we're told, I think everybody in this body was told and was aware that this wasn't going to last forever. And so here we are.
Gentleman from Oktibbeha, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman, will you yield?
Of course.
I'm sorry I had to put a tie on.
I like your tie.
I do have a couple of questions, if you'll just kind of let me go through it. So, in the child care portion, under the child care certificate portion, who are these families? Do they have a work requirement? Do they have, who are these parents? Who receives this TANF? Who's eligible to receive TANF benefits?
I believe the minimum work was 20 hours a week or be enrolled in another program, is my understanding.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
My understanding is that to be eligible, you had to be working a minimum of 20 hours a week or be enrolled in another benefit program.
So these are working parents. These are parents who either have to work 20 hours a week or being enrolled in higher education. Is that not correct?
That's my understanding.
So this is just not a giveaway, right? This is not just giving away money, right?
I think that it's for child care.
So this is not welfare. That's my point.
Okay.
The other question is, are you aware of the number of centers that have, and I know the gentleman from Washington asked this question, but do you know that by the time this project gets started again, that it may not be any private small child care providers left? And I know that this body believes in small business, right?
Sure, yeah, I believe in small business.
But this seems very punitive, and it seems like the state of Mississippi is actively involved in running these small businesses out of business by not funding child care. Because it doesn't go to the business, it goes to the working parent and the parent who has to have educational requirements. So this is not a giveaway. I have never voted against an appropriation bill because I think that it's our job to actually provide funds for all these departments. But this seems so punitive. Is there a possibility that we can instruct DHS to use money in TANF to actually the $30 million that they already have and instruct them to use it? Can this body do that?
I believe this body could do whatever, with the vote, we could do what we wanted, but the problem is going to be where are they going to get that, what's going to get cut to make sure that they do that.
It's my understanding that that there are funds already in DHS that they were looking for clarification from to move $30 million that they already have that this body does not have to legislate. Can we send instructions to them to use that money?
I have not heard from the director exactly what you just stated. If the director thinks that he could do that, I think that he would have come to me and asked us to do that. So, again, I don't run the agency. He does, and you're well, just like everybody else. You've got his number. He'd be happy to talk to you about it.
Gentlemen, would you be interested in having an amendment or instructions provided in this language of the on this conference report to instruct him to use available funding, the $30 million that are already available, to use towards child care?
Yes, I would be opposed to an amendment to do that. I believe they're probably already doing it as much as they can. So,
okay. Well, and maybe we don't have this power to do this, but we never made, child care was never made whole from the $90 million that was stolen.
Gentlemen, before my time.
No. Well, maybe. But in the last 9 years, we have been fighting, child care centers, parents have been fighting to recoup that $90 million that was stolen from bad actors that we're still dealing with right now, and all of them have been vindicated. I think we have responsibility in this body to see that the government agencies that stole that money, that we replace it.
Okay.
Would you be favorable to an amendment for us to replace the money that was stolen?
Again, gentlemen, that was before my time. That's being dealt with. My understanding now, I'm not involved in any of that.
But most of the folks here were here during that time.
Yes, I would be opposed to an amendment in such language. Yes, I would be.
So I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. You're opposed to an amendment to use monies that are already in DHS that can be used for child care. It won't make them whole, but from what I understand, the director says they need $60 million. They have $30 million on hand right now in a particular pot of money that they can actually push a button to put towards child care. So we're saying that we're opposed to that.
I think they're probably already doing that.
No, they're not. They need instruction to do that. Also, we're saying that we're opposed to replacing the monies that were stolen 8 years ago.
Again, gentlemen, I'm working on this budget for next fiscal year, and that's what we were called to do, and that's what I plan to do here, and that's what we're presenting to you today.
So you're representing that we will be making child care centers and parents whole in the future. Is that what you're saying, gentlemen?
I didn't say that at all. I said that we are working on the budget that we have in front of us today, and this is what's reflected in that budget.
Okay. I just want to go on record for all of the constituents that we have who have children of child care age to say that the state of Mississippi is opposed to economic development, workforce development, and also early childhood education.
If you want to make that statement, that's okay, but I don't agree with that statement at all.
Lady from Humphreys, Ms. James Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, do you yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question. For those that are being paid low wages, we have so many places, especially in the Mississippi Delta, where there are folks that are trying to go to work every single day, trying to make an honest living. Would it not make a little bit more sense for us to add funding for vouchers for those that are actually trying to go to work every day, to add funding for those families? Would it not?
Ma'am, again, this is the budget we have in front of us today. I appreciate our conversation as you were working hard to try to find how we were going to be able to do this. Again, unfortunately, it's just not there to continue the program. I wish it was. I really do. I think child care is very important, and those that are doing a great job. So, again, I wish we could. Unfortunately, this is where we are today.
And one other question. If we have an increase for SNAP, SNAP is an opportunity for folks to have vouchers, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so with that being said, oftentimes we have more people that are probably looking for employment as opposed to those that are already working. So would we not want to make sure that we have an opportunity for those people that are working as opposed to the SNAP benefits?
Again, lady, when we visited with the director, this was his recommendation to us, and that's the position that was ultimately taken.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, I'm sorry. Lady from Jones requested to speak on the report. Lady from Jones, you're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, we've heard a good bit of discussion about our inability to increase dollars for child support, for child care in the state. The gentleman from Octibia represented to the House that there was $30 million in the TANF fund already over there at DHS that they could access, and they can do that without our authority. But I just want you all to know that it was told to us from this podium, to this lady's question, that there was not enough money. Lady from Humphreys. The lady from Hines asked the same question. It was not enough money. So let's just look at what they gave you today. In this state budget that we're going to adopt today, the Joint Legislative Budget Committee recommended $7.1 billion to be spent. However, $7.5 billion was available to the Budget Committee, but they elected at the outset to spend 7.1. On the sheet that they put on your desk today, you have the final action of general funds from the Budget Committee of $7.3 billion, $7,368,133,894. So now that's about $200 million. And I think the lady or somebody said these people needed about 15 or 16. So the fact that we don't have the money, that's not true. Because it's right here before you in black and white. Now, I just wanted to address one other thing. My good friend from DeSoto mentioned a program that's in the bill about transparency and fraud prevention. And we know that $200 million was stolen. See, you know, they always talk about what they've recovered. But I hadn't seen anybody come in here and show me where they recovered anything. I'm talking about where we actually reappropriated money that they had to carry over, or anything like, maybe some of these budget people can show it to us, but I hadn't been able to find it. So $200 million gone. And the gentleman from DeSoto said he was glad to see in Section 15 that they had the Medicaid and Human Services Transparency and Fraud Prevention Act. Then the chairman told you, and we're going to go further. You know, somebody over here asked about the 77 million, but it's 200 million. Well, you need to go to Section 16. And in Section 16, they outline all kinds of stuff, but what you need to be looking at is on line 283, where it talks about monies that are not specifically directed to some particular entity. You ain't never got a report on that. Now they got some kind of RFP or something like that they claim in this legislation. But you had never gotten a report on that. Y'all, listen, you do what you want to. I mean, you know, we vote and we do what we want to, but let's don't misrepresent to the public. Don't tell the public, oh, we couldn't give child care so folks could go to work. That's not true. You got $200 million was available to you that your own budget committee adopted. So that's not true. And then don't say we're up here trying to prevent fraud when we're still basically doing what we were doing when the folks stole the $200 million. So I just wanted to bring that to you. I wanted you to read it because, you know, I always like to give you the facts so you can absorb them, and then you can do what you want to do. Thank you so very much.
Gentleman from Washington, for what purpose?
Speak on the bill.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of this august body, you know, very little things that we can do collectively. Sometimes we can eat together, share a Coke or a cold beer together, even eat a little crawfish together. But when you go home behind this one, you're not going to be able to do anything together. You're going to be standing on your own 2 feet. When a small business owner that providing services for 60 children in your community have to close their doors, and a working set of parents have to make a decision who's going to stay at home to look out them kids. Or better yet, they're so far in debt, they got to leave the kids at home by themselves so they can go to work. And then they open up other doors. Don't allow your inability to be compassionate have a ripple effect in your community. Don't be so rigid and coarse on your thought processes that you can't do something for the common working people. You see, daycare allows children to get a fundamental basis that we are using when they go to kindergarten. And we have been touting all these things around this state about how early childhood development has taken off, and we've been nationally recognized. But you know where they got their foundation at? At Little Bo Peep Daycare Center, or Leapfrog Daycare Center, or Shining Star Daycare Center. That's where they got their start at. But if you talk to people in your community, and some of y'all, like the gentleman from Oxford, don't know how many daycare centers y'all got, or the economic impact in your community that comes from daycare centers. Y'all just see them as a small group of folk warehousing babies. But it's an economic driver just like a liquor store is in your community. It's an economic driver just like a daycare, just like a dry cleaners is in your community. Just like the mom and pop auto body shop. Economic drivers. Let's talk about doing something right. We got the money. The general lady from Jones County just told you we got the money. Look at your sheet. Look how much money left in the capital expense fund. It's money out there. It's money. I don't know why it is so hard in the poorest state in this country to take care of working class people. I don't understand it. You got an opioid addicted former quarterback that took money and built a volleyball court, and he ain't done a day in jail. You got an all-star running back who got paid to give speeches and did get one. He ain't going nowhere. You got
a high-flying wrestler, him and his daddy got money, and they ain't going nowhere. But Mary Brown cannot keep her daycare center open to provide service for her children in her community. Not something wrong with that, y'all. Now, we ain't saying kill the bill. We saying send it back and let them put some money in it. That's all we saying. Send it back and let them put some money in it. Why do we always have to come down here and fight for the small business owner in this body? And most of you get campaign contribution from them. You got here because of the small business folk. Then you get down here, then you fall in love with them big folk. They write big checks. But a bunch of them little bitty people gave you your start. And y'all forgetting that. We need to look out for the little business people in this process. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have a bunch of people making a decision. Do I leave, like the gentlelady from Amen say, little Johnny at home, and let him fend for himself while his mama go to McDonald's and flip some hamburgers for $7.25 an hour? I need y'all to think about this. Your inaction have actions. There are consequences to making bad decisions. And this is a bad decision by not putting money in this program. This has been some of these daycare centers have national recognition honors for providing quality service. From Tupelo all the way down to Fayette. From Meridian all the way over to Greenville. You got superstar daycare centers who need to keep their doors open to make sure those children are not left to the wander in the wilderness. Now, you can vote your conviction, but be sure you will not be able to walk out of this chamber today and say, I didn't know when you get home. You will not be able to walk away and say, well, nobody told me, because you being told right now. The money is there, we can do it, and we're choosing not to. I'd ask you to vote against this one so we can send it back.
All right. Gentlemen, does that conclude your explanation?
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker, yes, that does conclude the explanation. I will like to say I don't think anybody in here is against small businesses. I think we have multiple conversations yearly on the importance of small businesses in our state. This is just a large budget, lady. We have a 2% set aside that we do every year, trying to be fiscally responsible. It is difficult putting this together, and this is how this year's budget came in, and this is what both chambers had agreed upon, so I'll move for final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. A vote of 78 yeas, 38 nays. The report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, next item is item 15, House Bill 1911.
You're recognized to explain a report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the budget for the Department of Insurance. Final action came in at $40,265,726. Of that, $13,610,726 is general funds. This is a reduction below LBR of $1,975,000. I will tell you how we got there. We transferred a new fire truck program has been created, and there is a transfer of $7,500,000 going out of the Department of Insurance into DFA for that new fund that is being set up. The only changes to the bill were a $25,000 capital expense for some vehicle repairs that they had over the department. That's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, you said a new fund is being set up for fire trucks?
A new program is being set up, not a new fund, a new program for fire trucks.
And it will fall under this particular agency or a different agency?
It's going to DFA. The money's going to DFA.
It's going to DFA, they'll administer the
Yes,
funds?
ma'am.
Is it a grant program?
Yes, ma'am, it'll be a grant program.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 114 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next item is item 16, House Bill 1912.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the budget for the Department of Medicaid. Final action came in at $8,563,225,907. Of that, state funds, general funds are $1,026,866,812. This is an increase in general funds of $100 million for their operational expenses, an additional $100 million of capital expense funds for operational expenses, $1,610,031 for some vacancy funding, and then also $20 million in general funds to replace the healthcare expendable funds that were no longer available, for a total of $201,610,031 above LBR. That's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott. She wishes to speak on the report. I see no questions, gentlemen. I will recognize the lady to speak.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, of course, you know, generally, well, I'll just have to say every year I'm up here talking about this Medicaid budget. And so this year will be no different. I read in the newspaper where it said that the reason why we were unable to pay the teachers the House's position, because I'm only talking about the House's position, I'm not talking about what the Senate did, was because of the Medicaid budget and because of the situation with retirement. And then it was said that, you know, we had to address this issue. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the House, every one of y'all been in here 3 years. And every one of you knows that Medicaid has come in here saying, we're spending money out of a cash balance. And to let you know that they do it, if you go to the bill on line 32, we give them the authority to do it. We say, look, if you got any recovery of funds, they can be maintained, and then those dollars can be used to escalate any contractual services that you may experience that you have a deficit in. So we told them, take that $600 million and spend it. But we knew, don't come up in here saying, come on, y'all. We knew that. Just like we knew about the the however many billion-dollar situation we have with retirement. You're going to have to understand, you're going to have to stand on what you do up in here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I've been trying to tell you. The public is not crazy. And they're going to find out. They're going to find out that you knew that Medicaid was going to have an escalation, because if you had been funding them every year and allowing them to just meet a little bit of their deficit out of that 600 cash balance that they had, this would not be a surprise, but we knew it. Everybody on that Appropriations Committee knew it. Everybody on the Budget Committee knew it. The governor knew it, and Medicaid knew it. So I'm telling you, so when you go out of here, please be some kind of way. I don't know how you're going to explain it. But you're not going to be able to put it on the backs of the crippled, of the sick, of the blind, of the disabled, why you didn't hold to the House's position on raising the teachers' pay. Because we already know that there was $200 million still available. It's in your book, it's on your paper, that could have been used. So Medicaid had to be addressed. The lady from Hattiesburg told us, I read in the paper, heard her say it out of her own mouth, but I read it in the paper. She thought it was a huge and astronomical ask that Medicaid wanted, something about $268 million. I think we didn't get to that point, but we did escalate the budget by 16%. But we knew that this was coming. And let me just tell you this, because I'm going to my seat, because I always tell you, I'm going to come back up here and tell you if the good Lord gives me the strength. Next year, you're going to be in the same boat. You're going to be in the same boat next year, even if you don't do anything but just what you spent this year. The budget will be escalated. So I just wanted to say that to you while we had the Medicaid budget in front of us, because it did distress me when I heard that they were saying that it was because of the sick, the shut-in, the left-outs, the poor, the retired, the elderly, and we had to do something about those two programs, that we couldn't do something for teachers to what we had said we wanted to do. And I just wanted to let the public know and to remind you that we knew. We knew last year, we knew this year, and we know this year for next year. Thank you.
Lady from Lincoln, Ms. Curry, for what purpose?
Question?
Of the gentleman?
Yes, sir.
Gentleman, you yield for further questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
We talked about having, looking at what is causing this. Is it managed care? Is it something else? In the appropriation bill, did we put any kind of study committee or, because we'll go home and we won't look at this and we'll have this next year. Have we done anything to prepare to do that?
Lady, there's nothing actually in the bill that requires that. My understanding is that that will be addressed over the summer through a study committee of some sort to look at the reasons behind this, because you're right, we do need to figure out what's going on.
Right, we're just going to face it another year, and thank you for the answer.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay.
Okay.
Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 115 yeas, 2 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, while we're on this item, legal counsel gave me a letter that on line 328, they refer to section 2 of this act, and it needs to be section 3. So I'd like to, with unanimous consent, amend line 328 by replacing the number 2 with the number 3.
All right, gentlemen, request that unanimous consent with regards to changing the section number. Is there objection to that? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure. Gentlemen, the clerk's office will need that language. You're recognized for your next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next item is item 17, House Bill 1913.
You're recognized to explain the report.
This is the budget for the Board of Medical Licensure. Final action came in at $4,820,735. This is a special fund agency. The increases were $92,000 for a rent increase and $50,000 for the cloud migration for their office, for a total of $142,000 above LBR, and that's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? See no questions, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item.
Next item is item 18, House Bill 1921.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Mr. Speaker, this is the budget for the Department of Rehab Services. Final action came in at $261,555,149. Of that, $33,776,232 was state general funds. Increase of $3,402,926 for the Section 110 grant, and $990,000 of federal funds for 18 new head counts, for a total increase of $4,392,926. And that's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? See no questions, gentlemen. He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Anything further, gentlemen?
Mr. Speaker, if I could, I'd like to go to item 39, Senate Bill 3061.
Gentleman's requesting to advance to item 39. Is there objection to that? Hearing none, gentlemen, we'll follow that procedure. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the appropriation for University of Mississippi Medical Center. Final action came in at $2,422,728,118. Of that, $190,004,192 is state general funds. There was $5 million in education enhancement funds for repairs and renovations for the campus, and $5 million of opioid settlement money to UMMC for the Ibogaine drug program, and then $3,061,905 in education enhancement funds for the professor pay raises, which was a result of the teacher pay raise bill we did. It also applies to them. That's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Will you yield, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Please tell me we have some money in there for the cancer program.
Lady, I'll tell you, we are working on that. There are discussions being had. It is not in this bill, but it's certainly being discussed.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, did you say that there were additional funds for professors?
Yes, ma'am. That was part of the pay raise for K-12 community colleges, IHL. They're falling under that IHL.
Do we give the same rate of pay raises for teachers at Whitfield?
This was IHL, community colleges, and K through 12 was this
I
pay
think
raise.
we have teachers that teach the young people at the Whitfield school, and I don't think they've gotten a pay raise.
Lady, I'm not sure on that. I just will tell you that this pay raise was for K through 12, community colleges, and IHL, of which University of Mississippi Medical Center falls under Institutes of Higher Learning.
And how much did you say it was?
$3,061,905.
So when we did the pay raise, that included IHL?
That's my understanding.
How many professors will benefit from the pay raise?
I do not know the number of professors that will benefit.
I didn't hear you, gentlemen.
I don't know. I don't have a number.
Okay, could you get that number for me,
We
gentlemen?
can certainly try to find it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted.
Mr. Speaker, while we're there, again, you know how much I like unanimous consent. I'm being told that I need unanimous consent on line 172 after the word for to add the words the equivalent of, so it would read, these funds are provided for the equivalent of a $2,000 salary increase for all professors and adjunct professors at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. And then on line 174, we would delete the period after the word center and add at the discretion of the Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs. So,
Gentleman's requesting unanimous consent to make those changes. Gentleman from Pike, you have a question regarding the request. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman, will you yield?
yes, sir.
I'm curious, why didn't you ask us to make those changes before we voted on it?
I was told by Elbow to vote on the bill and then ask for these changes. And if you want me to read exactly how it will read out, I'll be happy to do that.
No, it just seemed a little backwards that we voted on something and you came back and changed it right thereafter.
Read the change.
Lady, okay.
The bill, this section will read, the funds are provided for the equivalent of a $2,000 salary increase for all professors and adjunct professors at the University of Mississippi Medical Center at the discretion of the Vice Chancellor for Health Affairs.
Is there objection? Hearing none, we will proceed in that manner. Anything further, gentlemen?
Nothing further. Thank you, Mr. Well, not on that bill. Go to the next one.
Clerk needs that language.
That's both of them.
You have further work, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go to item 45, Senate Bill 3067.
Is there objection to the gentleman advancing to item 45? Hearing none, we will proceed in that manner, gentlemen. You're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this is the appropriation for the Department of Public Safety. Final action came in at $280,787,344, of which $167,789,465 is state general funds. The additions that were made are $1,406,160 of general funds for salaries for the 31 new troopers that are coming out, $522,655 for salaries of three head count at the forensics unit in North Mississippi Medical Examiner's Office, $685,000 for 10 additional Capitol Police officers, $2,600,000 of capital expense funds for forensics Biloxi lab, HVAC replacement there, $278,000 of capital expense funds for the Melota campus repair and renovation, $180,000 of capital expense funds for MBI to purchase a Faro 3D imaging units. I think there's 3 of those at $60,000 apiece, and $2 million of spending authority for law enforcement officers, the training equipment grants that they provide through the Black Tag Fund. And that's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Lawrence, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Speaker. Gentleman yield.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, I think I asked you this question a week or 10 days ago whenever we were talking about this before. There were some raises for troopers, right? If indeed they did get raises, could you tell me how much raise the troopers got?
There was no raise for troopers in this bill.
None at all?
No, sir.
So I presume there's no raise for troopers in any other bill then, right?
Unfortunately, I'm not aware of a bill that has a trooper pay raise in it, unfortunately.
Gentleman from Pike, Mr. Porter. We'll come back to you. Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Hullum.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
A quick question. the forensic lab down on the Gulf Coast, was any money appropriated to that? Or
Yes.
did you say something about the HVAC system?
For the HVAC system?
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
thank
There
you.
was money. Do you need the amount? Would you like that amount of that?
No. I just want to make sure we got some for that one.
Yes, sir. I will tell you it is $2,600,000 for the forensic lab in Biloxi for an HVAC replacement.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman from Pike, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got a message from the clerk, so I guess I'll do a parliamentary inquiry. Was the dress code not relaxed for today? No? Okay.
No, sir.
All right, just checking.
No questions for the gentleman? I see no further questions, gentlemen. He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 128, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Gentleman from Jackson, Mr. Fondren, for what purpose?
Introduction out of order, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
sir.
I've got a few special guests here with me today. Above me in the South Gallery, I've got my father, my grandmother. And then down here on the floor with me, a former member of this legislature in the 1970s, my grandfather, born and raised in Itabena, made his career on the Gulf Coast, Mayor of Moss Point, Justice Court Judge, and he's the reason I'm here today, Mr. Lewis Fondren right here.
Welcome, sir. Good to have you here with us, gentlemen. You're recognized, gentlemen, for further work.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 49, Senate Bill 3072, and need to move to recommit that bill. We've got some language in there that needs to be adjusted.
Is there objection to the gentleman advancing to that item? His motion is to recommit. I see no one seeking recognition. If you favor the gentleman's motion to recommit, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Anything further, gentlemen?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go to item 50, Senate Bill 3075.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the budget for the Board of Pharmacy. Final action came in at $4,398,210. This is a special fund agency. There was an increase in per diem of $500, $81,551 for vacancy funding, $118,067 for the pharmacy recovery program, and $28,269 in their ITS increase for a total of $228,387 above LBR, and that's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next item, Mr. Speaker, is item 51, Senate Bill 3088.
You're recognized to explain the report.
This is the budget for the Department of Corrections. Final action came in at $471,072,019. Total general funds is $434,307,319. There was a $700,000 decrease for a monitoring system. There was a $2,267,526 increase for the private prison contract, $4,501,902 special fund increase on the medical contract, and a decrease of $1,700,000 for a monitoring technology system that's never been implemented for a total of $4,369,428 above LBR. That's an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman, you.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned about the medical contract. Could you talk a little bit about that? You said it was an increase in the medical?
Yes, their contract has a automatic percentage increase year over year in the contract.
And can you tell me the name of the company that we're contracting through?
My understanding is company we contract with right now is a company called Vitacor.
And how much are we paying Vitacor?
What's the total?
Over the past couple of years, if you can.
I want to say this year it's around somewhere around $120 million on the contract for this year.
All right, thank you, Jim.
And I can get you that exact number. I just don't have it off.
Appreciate it.
Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Was the gentleman yield?
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the cities and the counties reimbursement, was that raised? Is that raised to what they were asking for in this budget?
That is not in this budget.
And so then, but didn't you say you were going to give the private prisons $2 million more dollars?
Again, it's just like the medical contract. There's an automatic increase in their contract year over year.
Well, Mr. Chairman, would you not agree that the reason why we got these old private prisons, and same thing with the lady from Lincoln complains about the HMOs, is that they represented to the state that they could keep the costs down? How do we have an automatic contract that gives them an automatic? We don't give anybody, we don't give our teachers an automatic raise every year. We don't give our state employees an automatic raise. How are we in a contract that we automatically give these people more money? You need to delete that money out of there. But can you tell us how we're doing that?
Lady, I didn't sign the contract, nor was I involved in any of the negotiations of the contract. That's just a contract that was presented to the legislature, and that's what we will follow.
But, gentlemen, you would agree now, we did delete some stuff in there that, since they wasn't doing it, wasn't doing right by it, and we said we were going to show them. I think that's, well, we might not have said that, but we said we were going to delete. Don't you think it's about time that we say to the Department of Corrections and those private prisons that we're gonna, well, I tell you what, gentlemen, if you withhold that $2 million, they won't get it. And I just don't think it makes good policy for us to be automatically raising these people. They're not doing anything different. They're not keeping any more people. We're not, and we're trying to raise and give our local people something, and we can't raise and give them anything, gentlemen.
Gentleman from Holmes, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With it, Chairman Year.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, I was just looking through the bill, and I can't find it, but can you tell me what we've done for the regionals?
We didn't do anything this year at the regionals. I know. I think last year, didn't we adjusted them to 3271, I think.
Same funding as last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 89 yeas, 20 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next item, Mr. Speaker, is item 52, Senate Bill 3089. It's the budget for the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency, and I need to move to recommit that bill at this time.
All right, gentleman's motion is to recommit on item 52, Senate Bill 3089. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Anything further, gentlemen?
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 57, Senate Bill 3096.
All right, is there objection to the gentleman advancing to item 57? Hearing none, we'll follow that procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the the budget for the military department. Final action came in at $262,873,603. Of that, general funds are $13,969,082. The following additions were made: $4,400,000 in general funds for the TRICARE reimbursement program, capital expense funds of $650,000 for land purchase at or around Camp Shelby, and $500,000 in education enhancement funds for the SEEP scholarship program. And that is an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move for adoption.
He moves for adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, if I could, one more, item 60, Senate Bill 3101.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the budget for the Veterans Affairs Board. Final action came in at $12,466,852, of which $5,711,024 is general funds. The only changes were made was an addition of $3,500,000 of capital expense funds for a roof replacement, HVAC upgrades, and a boiler at Kosciuszko and Collins. And that is an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report?
Move for adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted.
Mr. Speaker, I will yield to the gentleman from Pike, Chairman Mims, for further
Gentleman
word.
from Pike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go to item number 19, House Bill 1924. This is the conference report for the Attorney General.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you please recognize the lady from Amit?
Lady from Amit, recognized to explain the report.
Thank you. This is the budget for the Attorney General. The final action is $78,222,240. It's $37,060,854 over LBR, and it includes $299,000 in vacancy funding and restoration of 2 head counts removed at LBR, $37,237 of general funds for the motorcycle officer training, $2,500,000 in special fund authority for the human trafficking fund, $3,900,000 for the opioid settlement funds for the Attorney General and the Lafayette County Board of Supervisors, and $30,324,617 of opioid settlement funds for grants. And those grants are in section 19 of the conference report. So again, it includes $37,060,854 of a total increase above LBR. That's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, lady.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 114 yeas, 3 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, lady.
The next item, Mr. Speaker, is item 20. It's House Bill 1927. This is the conference report for the district attorneys and staff, and their budget. The final action is $36,429,928. It's $303,823 over LBR, and it includes $291,823 in general funds salaries for 1 ADA and 1 criminal investigator in the 6th district. and $12,000 of general funds for office expense allowance for 3 new ADAs provided by judicial redistricting. Again, it's $303,823, total increase above LBR. That's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the gentle lady yield.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear everything. You are adding ADAs in which districts?
And the 6, that would be Adams, Emmett, Wilkinson, Franklin, and Pike.
Okay, you adding any other ADAs out in this bill?
Well, there were some from judicial redistricting that were added, 3 new ADAs provided by judicial redistricting from last year, yes. And that would be the 12,000 general funds.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
See no further questions, lady.
I move adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the House would like to go to item number 21, House Bill 1928. This is the conference report, the appropriation for the legislative expense. Mr. Speaker, this is coming to us today at $41.0 million. This is basically at LBR. There's a little bit of capital expense money that is over LBR, and that is the explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? See none, gentlemen.
Move final adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 22, House Bill 1929. This is the appropriation for the PERS retirement system. As you know, Mr. Speaker, am I recognized, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, sir. You may explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is, like I mentioned, the appropriation for the PERS retirement system. This is, as y'all know, a special fund agency, and so this is coming to us today at $21.2 million, and that is explanation of the appropriation, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 119 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 23, House Bill 1930. This is the appropriation for the State Public Defender.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you please recognize the lady from Emmett to handle the next 2 conference reports?
Lady from Emmett, recognized.
This is the appropriation for the State Public Defender. The final action is $5,407,027. It is $728,677 over LBR, and it includes $150,000 in capital expense funds for the Family Defenders and Youth Court, and $578,677 in capital expense funds for Year 2 of the Rural Legal Services Pilot Program in the 5th Circuit District. And that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, lady.
Move final adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Everyone voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 116 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item 24, House Bill number 1931. This is the Office of Supreme Court and Services. So the Office of Supreme Court Services, the final action is $8,112,015. And it is a reduction of $1,097,406 in general fund for movement of the funding to IT and finance positions. And $86,944 of general funds were reduced because they were added at LBR for judicial salaries increases, and that additional money was not needed. So it was a total decrease below LBR of $1,184,350. Continuing legal education, the final action was $332,997, and it's $90,579 over LBR, which includes $90,579 of special funds for salaries for an attorney to be hired as a director, and for IT staff for a new automated CLE system. Trial judges, the final action is $506,101. That's $5,036,390 over LBR, and it includes $4 million for special fund authority for court reporter raises and the ability to freelance, $906,727 in general fund salaries for CCID judges moving from AOC to the trial judges budget, $114,132 general funds salary for chancellor added by House Bill 1 for 2026, $152,000 general fund staff, office, and rent allowance for chancellor added by House Bill 1, $1,292,000 in general funds for staff, office, and rent allowances for 10 judges added by redistricting, $66,757 in general fund travel for 10 judges added by redistricting, and then $1,495,226 of general fund reduction of funds added at LBR for judicial salary increases, as only 1/2 year is needed. So it's, again, $5,036,390 total increase above LBR. The Court of Appeals, the final action is $7,239,121, and it is $621,332 below or a decrease of LBR. It includes $552,174 of general funds movement for funding for IT positions, $69,158 general fund reduction of funds added at LBR for judicial salary increases, as only 1/2 of the year is needed. For AOC, the final action was $42,001,055. It's $12,266,111 above LBR. It includes $906,727 general fund movement of funds for CCID judges and staff, $1,649,580 of general fund movement of funds for IT and finance positions, $157,959 of general fund salaries for 1 HR staff and 1 accounting staff, $335,299 vacancy funding, $8,750,000 of capital expense funds for the My Kids replacement, $280,000 of special funds for MEC updates, and $2 million of opioid settlement funds for subsidies and intervention and youth court, which would be the adult felony courts. I would like to add that the House's position of including the 3 mental health courts that we did during the House action on this particular bill, those 3 mental health court pilots are still included. And finally, I would just add, in section 44 of the bill, we have discussed pretty extensively the salary increases for the courts. You will find that in section 44 of the bill, and we did the SPB market rate for those increases for 2025. And that's an explanation of the conference report. Mr. Speaker, I'll yield for any questions.
Questions on the report. Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the gentleman yield?
Gentlelady.
Gentlelady, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You ever have a problem with judges treating you bad because you're in the legislature? Because you are a legislature?
No.
You have, lucky you.
see no further questions.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay.
You ready?
Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 115 yeas, 1 nay, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. Like the other chairman, I would like to move to my next item, which is item number 30 with unanimous consent, Mr. Speaker.
All right, you're recognized for that item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go to item number 30, Senate Bill 3051. My motion today, Mr. Speaker, is recommit.
All right. The gentleman's motion is recommit on Senate Bill 3051. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With unanimous consent, I'd like to go to item number 43.
You're recognized for that item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 43, Senate Bill 3065. This is the appropriation for the Ethics Commission. We're funding it today at $760,000, which is at LBR funding, and that is an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on this report? I see no questions, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move final adoption.
But go ask him and be sure. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 44, Senate Bill 3066. And will you please recognize the lady from OMIT?
Lady from OMIT, you're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the budget for Judicial Performance Commission. The final action is $1,053,887. It's $134,878 over LBR. It includes $77,573 in salaries for critical salary funding and $57,305 in salaries for vacancy funding. Again, it's $134,878 total increase above LBR, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, lady.
I move adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 115 yeas, 3 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 46, Senate Bill 3069.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the appropriation for the Workman's Comp Commission. It comes to us today as $6.2 million. It is at LBR funding, and that is an explanation of the bill. Conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 48, Senate Bill 3071.
You're recognized to explain that report.
My motion, Mr. Speaker, today is to recommit.
All right. Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Speaker, I asked quietly this question. You keep saying recommit, but do we have to say recommit for further conference? Because we don't want to kill these budgets. Do we need to explain that, or is that an understanding? That's all. Are you recommitting for further conference?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
The bill is in conference, and with a file committee report, a motion to recommit would place it back into the conference. But thank you, gentlemen. Gentleman's motion is to recommit. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 53, Senate Bill 3090.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the conference report appropriation for the Department of Revenue. As I mentioned earlier, a few weeks ago, this is simply the appropriation for that agency. State funds is $58.4 million, and there is roughly $1.6 million added above LBR, which is some vacancy funding at $1.4 million, and then $210,000 for some IT equipment. And that is the explanation of the conference report for the Department of Revenue, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 119 yeas, 1 nay, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 56, Senate Bill 3095.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the conference report for the ITS services. State support funds is $37 million for the ITS, which is above LBR. And also in this conference report is also the Wireless Commission, and this is at $12.5 million. There was some general fund vacancy funding and also some capital expense funding added to the ITS agency as well, Mr. Speaker. And that is an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I move final passage.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 58, Senate Bill 3098.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the conference report for the Secretary of State's office. State support fund final actions, $15.5 million. There was some salary vacant funding added at $21,000. And also we did make sure we handled the issue with the Tidelands, restoring the Tidelands funding and transfer Tidelands as well. So that is $13.2 million over LBR due to the general fund, but mostly from the special funds. And that is an explanation of the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final passage.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 117 yeas, 2 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 59, Senate Bill 3099.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is the conference report for the Treasurer's Office. As you know, this is a special fund agency. So today it's $7.52 million, which is we did agree on the LBR level of funding. So that is an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final passage, Mr.
Open
Speaker.
the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Anything further, gentlemen?
No, sir, Mr. Speaker. Will you please recognize the gentleman from Monroe? From Montgomery, excuse me.
Gentleman from Montgomery. Be closer to Lodi, gentlemen, if we were getting in down into.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You're recognized, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 25, House Bill 1934.
All right, you're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the appropriation on the Arts Commission. It comes in at $7,875,150. The conferees adopted the following changes over LBR of $64,648 in general funds, critical salary increases, $7,838 general fund vacancy funding, $50,000 capital expense fund compliance updates to the agency website, and $3.5 million capital expense fund for building fund for the arts grants. Comes in at a total over LBR of $3,622,486, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to skip item 26, House Bill 1935, pass over that, let it retain its place on the calendar.
All right.
Move to item 27, House Bill 1936, which is the appropriation for the Educational Television Authority.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the appropriation again for ETV. This comes in at $13,732,911, and this is $600,000 over LBR in repair and replacements at the microwave tower sites. These are EEF funds, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? Lady from Lincoln, Ms. Curry.
Mr. Speaker, gentleman yield.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you aware that we authorize, or the Department of Education authorized $2.4 million of equipment to educational TV without an RFP?
No, ma'am. I was not aware of that.
Okay, just making you aware. And so we can't pay for child care or give a better raise for teachers, but we're going to continue to appropriate for educational television?
You're entitled to your opinion, ma'am.
Just making sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 90 yeas, 27 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, go to item 28, House Bill 1938.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you. This is the appropriation, ladies and gentlemen, for the Department of Transportation. It comes in at $1,565,117,000, $653. And this is, the House and Senate agreed to the following changes to the LBR level of funding totaling $88,144,409 over LBR. This is $1,104,711 of vacancy funding, $1,646,720 in salary progressions for frontline workers, $500,000 in leave payments, $1,865,422 additional MDOT vacancy funding, that is special fund authority, and $83,027,556 in authority for fuel tax increases also in special funds. And that's an explanation of the conference report on Mississippi Department of Transportation. I yield for questions.
Questions on the report. Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, lady.
I recall that I believe we said at one time that the fuel tax was $113 million that we were going to give to them, and I noticed on this final action it's $83 million. Are we not required to give all of the fuel tax over to the Department of Transportation?
I'm not familiar with whether we are or not, but I will get an answer to you for that. Personally, I'm just not aware of that.
Okay, so
I'll get you an answer.
All right, because if that is the case, then we're taxing the folks that we raised the tax, well, the people who voted to raise the tax, but then we're not then transferring the entire tax over to DOT. And I do recall, I believe in the appropriations that on the House position, I think it was $113 million or some number like that. But I noticed that in this explanation, now it could be buried somewhere else down in there somewhere else, but I did hear you say $83 million on the tax.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, if you could get that for us so we'll know exactly what's going on with that money, because that's a significant, that's like $50 million. Mm-hmm.
Be happy to.
Gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, you yield.
Always.
I didn't quite hear you. How much is the overall budget, and how much is it more than we appropriated last year?
The overall budget this year comes in at $1,565,117,653. That's 84 million over last year. To be exact, $84,260,435.
And how much over LBR?
$88,144,409.
Okay, thank you.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, move to item number 31, Senate Bill 3053.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you. This is the appropriations for IHL general support. It comes in at $1,690,925,757. This is, the conferees adopted the following changes to the LBR level of funding: an increase of $40 million for repairs and renovations for university campuses, $12,013,848 professor pay raises, and $1.4 million in opioid settlement funding, for a total increase above LBR of $53,413,848. And that's an explanation of the appropriation. I'd be happy to yield for questions, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report. Gentleman from Holmes, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the chairman here.
Yes, gentlemen.
Chairman, the $40 million for infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
Where do those funds come from? That's general fund?
R&R, that is actually out of EEF funds.
EEF funds?
EEF funds for renovations and repairs.
All right. So it didn't come from the education enhancement. How much do we, the overall budget, if everything passed, how much will we have left in the education enhancement fund, if you know?
I've got that number. Gentlemen, we apologize for the delay. We had to get down to LBO and find out, but it's about 180 million balance remaining now.
So it'll be about 180 million.
Yes, sir.
And in the IHL, are we spending any of that money in their budget?
Yes.
Okay. For the board?
What amount have we spent?
Yeah, in this budget, are we spending any education enhancement funds?
In this budget, we've spent approximately 52 million.
52 million.
Just north of that.
Okay, and what did it go towards?
It went to repairs and renovations, and all 12,013,848 went to professor pay raises.
Okay. And nothing was appropriated to the board itself?
That's in separate.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman from Lowndes, Mr. Cream, he passes. Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, there's about 1.4 million in opioid money in this bill. Is that right?
That's correct.
Could you tell me what that's going to be used for?
It went to the Ole Miss repository and dashboard MSU training.
The who? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The Ole Miss repository and dashboard MSU training.
What is that? Yeah, do look.
It was split 50-50. Of that, 700,000 of that went to, again, Mississippi State for training on opioid overdose reversal medications, treatment options for problematic opioid substance use, and then at the University of Mississippi, this was to establish a statewide data repository to track opioid and polysubstance use.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman from Washington, Mr. Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman, you.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, a few years ago, we gave $10 million to Ole Miss to study Declaration of Independence. Can you tell me how many folks went through that program? How many of them graduated? How many certificates?
I don't have that information before me, but I can get it for you, Jim.
I'd like to know how many of them can recite the Declaration of Independence and do some. Can you tell me how meaningful that program is?
I cannot.
Can you tell me, here's some things I need to know. I need to know how many people that went through the program. I need to know how much money has been expended. I need to know how many.
Gentlemen.
I got all that for you. Okay, I need all that on that
Gentlemen, if you'll write your questions down and get them to me, I'll get you the answers today.
Okay, I'm just curious, you know, I'd like to get, $10 million to learn how to grow peaches or something, since everybody else, thank you.
Write those down for me. Get them to me. Yes, sir.
Gentleman from Lowndes, Mr. Kareem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Absolutely.
And you might have already answered this question, but the $40 million, how is that broken down?
I don't have it broken down. It's just R&R. It's distributed to the universities based on square footage of buildings, population on the campus. There's a formula that's distributed throughout all of the universities.
I'm a little slow, so who makes that decision?
I'm assuming that the formula that was LBO analyst is telling me she has an estimate that she can make available to you, but that is in section, okay, it's described in section 50 of the bill.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, before I move adoption, I have a request for unanimous consent in some of the language. It is simply just a wording change that was inadvertently left out, but the change would be to insert the following language after the word "for" on line 533, the equivalent of. Amend line 535 by deleting the "after universities" and replacing it with "at the discretion of the institutional executive officer." And that's an explanation of the request.
Questions of the gentleman regarding his consent request. Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Yeah, thank you, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, would you yield?
Yes.
I just want to ask you now, y'all had one a while ago that spoke to, it was in the medical centers bill, that was at the discretion of the vice chair or somebody, and it had to do with these people's raises.
That's correct.
Now, these folks gonna get their $2,000.
They are.
So why would we have at their discretion?
The adjunct professors are not salaried employees. They come in and teach a class, so they have to be handled differently. That was not taken into consideration, and we've adjusted that language too.
Okay, so.
And that's across all colleges and universities and community colleges.
Because I heard the gentleman say that for medical center. So I just want to know, it is not discretionary that they're going to get their $2,000.
That is correct.
And I guess that's why I was wondering why that language, because it piqued my interest, but I didn't ask anything.
Absolutely.
But then to hear it again, so they will get the money.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I see no further questions regarding the gentleman's unanimous consent request. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure, gentlemen, with regards to the consent request. Does Madam Clerk have a copy of that?
Yes.
All right.
If there are no further questions, I move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 116 yeas, 2 nays, report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to item 32, Senate Bill 3054.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the appropriation for University Subsidiary Program Consolidated. Comes in at $87,954,384.
Questions on the report? I'm sorry. Proceed.
This is $121,968 increase in salaries for professor pay raises, and this comes out of general funds. And Mr. Speaker, I have also a request for unanimous consent to have that same language change in Senate Bill 3054 that I explained in 3053.
All right. Gentleman's requesting those same changes with regards to this bill and asking unanimous consent. Is there a question regarding the unanimous consent request? Lady from Hines. Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
It's a question for you, Mr. Speaker. So we can make unanimous consent to add or delete language on a conference report?
You can, lady. You can amend a conference report otherwise. You can recommit one for further conferencing, should the vote bear that out. But like I heard the senior gentleman from Warren, who's no longer a member of this body, he said at the well one time, with unanimous consent, you can cut the lights off and leave if you want to. So yes, with unanimous consent, you can make any change, material or otherwise, with unanimous consent. But it requires every single member.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Holmes, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman Yea.
Yes, gentleman.
Chairman, I'm still on the education enhancement funds. In this bill, this one deal with the board here, right?
No, sir. This is Mississippi State. I'm sorry. Hang on. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Any education enhancement funds in this bill?
Any increases to it?
Any payment from?
No.
None.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I see no further questions, gentlemen. You move adoption?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 119 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mississippi State University Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems. Comes in at $4,956,141. And the House and Senate agreed to a general fund increase of $43,197.
Gentlemen, which item? We were down to 33. Are you skipping 33?
Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry. I probably should have, I've erroneously presented the bill. This is actually part of that last bill. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong program. Item 33, 3055. I apologize.
We had just passed item 32 that we adopted that conference report, and we were down to 33. And that's where you want to go?
That's correct.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you. This is the Alcorn State University Agricultural Research Extension and Land Grant appropriation. It comes in at $8,598,509. The conferees adopted the following changes of $238,000 in general fund increase in contractual services for operational expenditures, $101,640 in increase in salaries for professor pay raises, and that is out of EEF, for a total of $339,640 increase over the LBR level of funding.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Bell.
Gentleman, you yield.
Yes, sir.
You said we're giving the professors at Alcorn a raise?
That's correct, gentlemen.
All the professors at Alcorn?
Every one of them.
Okay.
Are you opposed to that, gentlemen?
I'm pro-education all day, but I just have a question, Mr. Chairman. Is there any funds allocated in there for their football team? Thank you.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I also have the same request for unanimous consent on this bill also, as I explained in the other bills, inserting language for those pay raises.
All right. Gentlemen request unanimous consent for those changes to be made as in the other bills regarding the pay raises. Is there objection? Hearing none, we'll follow that procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, hold on. We need to vote on that one. Does that conclude your explanation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted.
Move to item number 34, Senate Bill 3056.
You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mississippi State University's Agriculture and Forestry Experiment Station. Appropriation comes in at $36,595,371. The conferees adopted the following changes to the LBR level of funding and an increase in contractual services for operational expenditures in the amount of $1,009,000 in general funds and an increase in salaries for professor pay raises at $365,904 in educational enhancement funds for a total of $1,374,904 of a total increase to the LBR level of funding. And that's an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I also need to ask unanimous, I'm sorry. Yes. I also need to ask unanimous consent to change the same language on this report.
Gentleman requests unanimous consent to make those changes regarding the pay raises as in the other bills. Is there objection? Hearing none, we'll follow that procedure.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Move to item 35, Senate Bill 3057. This is the Mississippi State University Cooperative Extension Service.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This comes in at $53,115,152. Conferees adopted the following changes to the LBR level in funding of an increase of $2 million in travel for operational expenditures, county services, $2 million special funds, an increase in commodities for operational expenditures and county services, $740,000 in general fund increase in contractual service for operational expenditures, and $241,395 in EEF funds, an increase in salaries for professor pay raises for a total of $4,981,395 total increase to LBR level of funding, Mr. Speaker. That's an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I also need to ask unanimous consent with that same language on this bill.
All right. Is there objection? The gentleman requests unanimous consent to make those changes regarding the salaries, the pay increase. Hearing no objection, we'll proceed in that manner.
I move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move to item 36, Senate Bill 3058. And this is the conference report on Mississippi State University Forestry and Wildlife Research Center. It comes in at $7,969,566. This is an increase of $189,000 in general funds to contractual services for operational expenditures, $111,804 in EEF funds for increase in salaries for professor pay raises for a total of $300,804 increase to the LBR level of funding. And that's an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I also need unanimous consent for the same.
All right. Gentleman requests unanimous consent to make the same change regarding salary increases. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure, gentlemen.
I move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Move to item 37, Senate Bill 3059. This is the appropriation conference report for Mississippi State University College of Veterinary Medicine. It comes in at $77,533,544. This is conferees adopted the following changes of $16,456,983 in special funds. This is an increase in subsidies of special funds for the MSU Veterinary School Fund for design, construction, renovation, repairs, and equipping the Wise Center as created in Senate Bill 2468 in the session of 2024. $621,000 in general fund increase to contractual services for operational expenditures, $302,379 in EEF funds for increase in salaries for professor pay raises, and $60,000 increase in subsidies out of general funds for 2 additional rural vet scholarships, for a total increase to the LBR level of funding of $17,440,362. And that's an explanation of the conference report.
Any questions of the gentleman?
Mr. Speaker, I also need unanimous consent on Senate Bill 3059, on the conference report of 3059 to include that pay raise language.
Any serious objections? I don't see any. All in favor say aye. All opposed? The unanimous consent is adopted. Any questions of the gentleman? Lady Jones.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Well, they always told me whoever's up there is always the speaker, so thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
You're correct, lady.
Well, the gentleman here. You know, it's good to have a little fun every now and again, isn't it, y'all? Well, the gentleman here.
I do, lady.
Listen, gentlemen, I just want to ask you one question. I noticed that in all these IHL bills that all of the increases for the salaries have come out of EEF. Am I correct in making that assumption that all of the salary increases for the teachers, for the professors, came out of EEF?
Yes, ma'am. I'm being told that is correct, with the exception of 251, which is a subsidiary bill.
The IHL subsidiary bill.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Gentleman from Washington.
I'm gonna let you make it. You're doing that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other questions?
Final adoption.
The gentleman moves final adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Closed machine, Madam Clerk. Motion, Greens, yeas are 120, 0. Motion carries. I recognize the gentleman from Holmes.
It's tough around here. You have further work, gentlemen?
I do, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Lodi.
I do, Mr. Speaker.
You're recognized.
Thank you so much. Item 38, Senate Bill 3060.
You're recognized to explain our report.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is student financial aid appropriation. It comes in at $56,904,024. And the conferees adopted the following changes to the LBR level of an increase of $5,100,000 in EEF. This is an increase for the HELP grant state scholarship, and that's an explanation of the conference report. I yield for questions.
Questions on the report? See none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Move to item number 40, Senate Bill 3062. This is the appropriation for Community and Junior College Board. Comes in at $94,158,411. And the conferees adopted the following changes to the LBR level of funding of $26 million in EEF for CTE. And that's an explanation of the conference report.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Adams, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman yield.
Yes, sir.
Is this 90-some-odd million over LBR?
I'm sorry.
Is this more than was recommended by the Legislative Budget Office?
Right, it is.
How much?
$26 million.
All right.
Scholarship funding.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Gentleman from Holmes, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the chairman yield.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, is any pay raises in this bill?
No, sir.
No pay raises. I guess it's a general question. I saw for IHL budget for various programs at Mississippi State as well as Alcorn, pay raises was included. Also for UMC. How about those professors that's not under these special programs? At rank and file professor at Alcorn, Jackson State Valley, Mississippi State, are we provided any pay raises for those professors?
They were all in Senate Bill 3053, in the conference report of 3053.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote no. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 41, Senate Bill 3063. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the appropriation for community and junior college support. Comes in at $797,728,227. The conferees adopted the following changes above LBR of $6,969,734 in EEF funds for the $2,000 professor pay raise and $20 million of EEF funds for repairs and renovations for a total of $26,969,734. And that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Jones, Mr. Scoggin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, you yield?
Yes, Jim.
I'm not aware, but do you listen or do you pay attention very much to social media?
Nope.
Well, let me inform you, if you don't mind, over the past weekend I've noticed there's been lots of disgruntled K-12 teachers, a lot of unhappy teachers, disappointed teachers. Even though I'm sure there's a lot that are pleased with their $2,000 raise, there seems to be a lot of dissatisfaction among them. But on behalf of the community college faculty and professors, I just wanted to say thank you for this raise. I've had several calls over the weekend, and they are all very appreciative and wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate that. This is a thank you to every one of you sitting out here today and on the other end of the building also.
All right, I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I also need unanimous consent on this bill to change that same language.
All right, gentlemen request unanimous consent to make the changes regarding the pay raises. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move final passage.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 42, Senate Bill 3064, Mr. Speaker. This is the appropriation for conference report for the Mississippi Department of Employment Securities Commission. Comes in at $140,124,669. The conferees adopted these following changes of $840,184 federal funds for vacancy funding, $400,000 in EEF for Skills Foundation, Accelerate, $10 million special fund support, for Accelerate and 1 million opioid pilot program to support a recovery to work initiative for a total of $11,240,184, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker. I yield for question.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 128, 0 nays, 0 reports adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 47, Senate Bill 3070. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conference report for the appropriation of Mississippi Development Authority. Comes in at $318,856,756. And the House and Senate agreed to the following changes of the LBR level of funding of $14 million for site development in capital expense funds, and then a reduction of non-recurring authority for the Project Poppy of $75,918,875. Also a non-recurring authority for Project Atlas and special funds of $42,680,387. And then an additional $109 million, the Community Development Block Grant Authority for Disaster Recovery. And this comes in for a total increase over LBR of $4,400,738, and that's an explanation of the conference report. I yield for questions.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Hullum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, gentleman.
Gentlemen, real quick question. Do we get any of this site development money on the Gulf Coast?
I'm sorry.
Will we receive any of this site development money on the Gulf Coast? We've been left out of that process.
If I had anything to do with it, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
Gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, you yield.
Yes, gentlemen.
Just tell me again, what do we do about Project Poppy? What was that?
It was a reduction in those funds. They
75 million?
75 million, yes, just north of that, almost 76.
Reduction, right?
A special fund reduction, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you yield, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
On those two projects that you named, Atlas and Poppy, what is the status of those projects?
Ma'am, I don't know. I don't know where they are, and no idea. I can get that answer for you.
Well, let me ask you this. In this bill, you're saying that MDA will no longer give them any more money, right? Is that what that is?
That's my understanding.
And so we all know that, well, some of us know that they got more money than what's there. Do we know whether the clawback procedure has begun yet?
No, ma'am, I don't. But I can, again, I can get that answered for you.
And so, gentlemen, it's just that we got a fraud prevention for people getting $150 worth of food stamps. But the folks that's getting 75, 100 million, 150 million, we don't seem to have any kind of anything to get any kind of reports or clawback or find out what they're doing. That doesn't send a good message, gentlemen. It kind of says you can steal 200 million, but you can't steal $200. Thank you so much, sir.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Move adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 117 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Anything further, gentlemen?
Committee E yield.
Mr. Speaker, with unanimous consent, I'd like to go to the in-conference appropriations calendar, item 29, House Bill number 1939.
All right, we are down to that calendar, lady.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, House Bill 1939, the conference report is our deficit appropriations. And it is for Section 1, the Governor's Office Division of Medicaid for operational expenses, its capital expenses in the amount of $35 million. Section 2, CPS operational expenses, capital expense funds in the amount of $15 million. Section 3, CPS for repairs, renovation, improvements to state-owned facilities in Harrison County, it's $5 million in capital expense funds. Section 4 is the Department of Agriculture and Commerce. It's for the insurance deductible and fire cleanup at the trademark. It's $1,496,000 in capital expense funds. Section 5 is the AG's office for outside legal counsel in JMAA versus Reeves. It's $250,000 in capital expenses. Section 6 is MDA for the administration of the Main Street Revitalization Grant Program. It's special funds in the amount of $196,427. Section 7 is the Veterans Affairs Board. It's reimbursement of the Affordable Care Act penalties. It's $678,385 in capital expense funds. Section 8 is the Board of Animal Health for the salary expenses related to animal disease outbreak response. It's $5,234 of special funds. Section 9 is MEMA for the startup costs of the Next Gen 911 program. It's $2,257,000 of special funds. The total is $59,883,046. And it's effective upon passage. That's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Will the lady yield?
I will, yes.
Thank you so much, lady. I was listening to your explanation of Section 7, which related to an ACA penalty reimbursement. Could you just explain to us what that is doing?
So it's my understanding, and we've had these before, lady, with various agencies. I remember once we had one a few years ago for a deficit for DPS. It's not unusual that we've had these where there has been a settlement for certain penalties, maybe perhaps that the agency, or perhaps a reimbursement, pardon me, for certain penalties that the agency may have received as a result of the Affordable Care Act. And I can get you a little bit more information, I think, and I'm going to check with Lee. It's going to vary by agency amount. Yeah, and it's going to vary from agency. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it's going to vary from agency to agency, and it's assessed by the IRS. And so usually we've entered into some kind of settlement for these. But as I said, this is not unusual because I can remember several instances where we've had these in the deficit bill.
And I just wanted to, so it was on our failure, on our part?
I wouldn't necessarily use the word failure, but I would say that it's a reimbursement. I wouldn't want to say without any additional information what happened per agency because I would imagine every circumstance is different, lady.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I see no further questions, lady.
I move adoption of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 128, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 61, Senate Bill 3104, and move that we recommit the conference report for further work. And also, we want to make sure if we have a vehicle, we will need that this will be available. So my motion is to recommit the conference report for Senate Bill 3104.
Ladies, motion is to recommit the conference report. If you favor that motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next item, lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 62, Senate Bill number 3105. Again, Mr. Speaker, my motion is to recommit.
Ladies, motion on item 62 Senate Bill 3105 is to recommit. If you favor the lady's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I have two items on the in-conference appropriations general bills calendar, if I may be permitted to present those.
All right, I believe that concludes our work on the in-conference appropriations bills at this time. Someone confirm that?
Yes. Yes. Yes, Mr. Speaker, it is.
Yes, lady, we're good to go to the in-conference appropriations general bills calendar.
All right.
Which item there?
It's item number 3, House Bill number 1649.
You're recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is our conference report for our transfer bill. We are transferring $10,017,755 from the Capital Expense Fund to the Mississippi Main Street Revitalization Grant Fund. And as you may recall, earlier in the year, we had a deficit for this amount for the Main Street Revitalization Grant Fund, and this is just transferring those funds from capital expense to the grant fund to cover the deficit, and that's an explanation of the conference report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report?
I move adoption of the conference report.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 117 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 13, Senate Bill number 2924, and move to recommit for further work.
Ladies, motion on item 13, Senate Bill 2924, is to recommit. If you favor that motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, Appropriations yields the floor.
In conference, Ways and Means. Gentleman from Tate, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We would go to item 1, House Bill 343. I'll explain the conference report.
You're recognized to explain the report.
This is our, what we've come to know as our ICRA bill. This is dealing with the health insurance or the incentives to, the tax incentives to provide health insurance for the employees. We were at $10 million, and in order to get the bill going, we agreed to the Senate's position, which was at $1 million, and hopefully it'll be successful, and hopefully we can expand it in the future. But that's an explanation of where the report stands.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote 119 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
The next item we would go to would be, let's go to item 3, House Bill 1230. I'll explain the conference report.
All right, I'm not showing that one's filed, gentlemen.
Excuse me, Speaker. You're right. Item 4 is the one I meant to go to. I apologize.
All right. Item 4, House Bill 1716. You're recognized to explain that report.
This is the Main Street Revitalization Grant Program general language. We have worked this entire session, had hoped to get this done well before now, but it nonetheless took to the very end. We have this conference report encapsulates the agreement that was reached between the governor's office and others over the course of this past year, and hopefully we can finally get this across the finish line.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, you yield?
Be glad to.
So what's the amount of money available for?
So gentlemen, this is just the language. It doesn't have, that bill doesn't contain any money in it. There has been a disagreement over the last 3 years as to what that language should be, and therefore the money that we put in this program 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whenever that was, has not been gotten out to the city. So hopefully this will free that money up, break the log jam, so to speak, and let it get to where it's intended to go.
Right, Mr. Chairman, what amount was that that hadn't
I
gotten
think
out
2
to
years,
the cities?
the first year we did around 6 million, and I want to say the second year we did around 3 million, so it's somewhere in the 9 ballpark.
So that money just out there?
Well, it was appropriated. It's being reappropriated this year, but it's been sitting in an account somewhere.
Good deal. So hopefully we can get it across the goal line this time.
That is the goal.
Good deal. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Lady from Lincoln, Ms. Curry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question, and then these grants are approved by MDA when they're...
MDA is the agency, yes.
Okay.
There's a separate Main Street Association board, statewide board that's involved,
But just MDA approves the applications?
They administer the grants, and they'll hire somebody else to help with that as well.
Okay, that's, I guess, my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is just somebody else besides MDA? There's
They
a
have
process?
let us know they are going to hire outside firm to make sure that all the T's are crossed. And so I understand there's another bill somewhere that gave them money to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
I'd move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next, we would go to item 6, House Bill 1793, and ask to be recognized to explain the conference report.
Yes, sir, you're recognized.
This is our bill where we are exempting or adding firearm safes to our Second Amendment tax holiday weekend.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I'd move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 106 yeas, 6 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next, Mr. Speaker, we would go to, looks like item 7, House Bill 1941. I'd move to recommit.
Gentleman's motion on item 7, House Bill 1941, is to recommit. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next item, gentlemen.
Next, we go to item 8, House Bill 1944. I'd ask to be recognized to explain the conference report.
You're recognized to explain it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the tax credit program. We went with the Senate language on this, where we authorized an additional group of tax credits for special purpose schools throughout the state. And we also, the other thing that the bill did is reduce the percentage that can be received from 4.5% in bucket 2 to 4%. And that is an explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 99 yeas, 9 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 9, House Bill 1989. Be asked to recognize the report.
You're recognized.
The report on 1989 is simply really the House language, except that we had to tighten it up a little bit just to make sure this would exempt the sales tax on electricity used at the Neshoba County Fair.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 98 yeas, 11 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 10, House Bill 4060. This conference report, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen, deals with the really clarification for the tax code regarding our for our farmers and other agricultural producers. It would clarify that lime is not taxed, that it's to be treated the same way that fertilizer is treated, and it would also include fencing materials for farmers and those that actually file a Schedule F and are certified as a commercial farmer for the purchase of fencing materials. They would include that at the 1.5% ag rate. That's an explanation.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. A vote of 113 yeas, 2 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next, we go to item 11, House Bill 4067. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker, let me back up. I skipped that one for now. Let's go to item 12, House Bill 4073, and I'd be asked that I be recognized to explain that report.
You are recognized to explain the report.
This deals with the Vice Chairman's, that he's worked hard on all this year, the Work and Save program, but also throughout the conferencing process, we decided to add some of the PERS technical changes that we had, and what those would be. We would go in Tier 5, we would recognize some of the issues that have been raised throughout the year from the language we got from the Senate last year, where they put everybody in Tier 5 at a 35-year retirement, so we'd move that back to 30, which is where Tier 4 was, and we had been for several years. It would also move the high 8 to a high 4. And then there were some other technical changes regarding some of the different Roth and things that were going into the bill, just giving options that were not monetary in nature. And then a big one that we added we would allow, after a 30-day hiatus, we would allow retired people to come back to work for a PERS entity that we've passed many times already. So those were kept alive. There is no money in the bill, but at least we have some of the reforms that needed to be made in the conference report. That's an explanation.
Questions on the report? Lady from Jones, Ms. Scott.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes.
Okay. On the retirement, the people who, I believe it was March the 6th or whatever date that was that they passed on last year, if an individual has been employed since then, does this bill cure that for them, or are they still on the 35?
And you're talking about individuals in the last, what's the day, 27, 28 days?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, those individuals.
This would be retroactive to March 1st.
Oh, so it's in this bill, because we can't, I don't have, it's not in my packet, so I couldn't read it.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is retroactive.
Yes, right.
Okay, now you also indicated that there were some non-revenue changes. Does this still allow for the division of the employer contribution to the retirement to be split?
Tell me, I'm not sure I followed you there, lady. So
Okay,
tell me what
well,
you mean by
when
that.
y'all passed it, y'all passed it last year. It was 9% that the employers would contribute to the retirement system. And you guys passed this 35-year, and you passed the part that said that people would only have to contribute 4.5% to the retirement system. Is it still 4.5%,
No
or did
changes.
y'all take it back to 9?
There's no changes in that part of it.
So it's still 4.5%.
It is exactly, that part of it's exactly what we passed last year.
Okay, all right. That's the reason why we're trying to. You said it was some Can you then explain to us exactly what are the technical changes from what we passed last year to what this is proposing to do this year?
Oh, you mean go through them again?
Well,
All right, 35 to 30, high 8 to 4, and then return to work.
Okay.
Those are the three main ones.
Well, can you go through those that are not main? Because the 4.5, because when you said that, I was thinking, and I don't know if you agree or not, but the problem that we're having over at retirement is that they need money. And so we're going to take the people back to 30, but we're not going to let them have the same provision that they had before, which was to pay 9% to the retirement system when the retirement system needs money. I mean, make it make sense.
Is that a question, lady?
Yeah, I'm asking you why we're not going to let them go back to giving 9% like they were before, since the retirement system needs money.
Well, lady, those decisions were made last year, and actually, tier 5, this would be, will save money over time.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you.
That's why we did it.
Thank you.
Gentleman from Forest, Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If the chairman will yield.
Be glad to for you, gentlemen.
All right. That hiatus that you're referring to, that's currently 90 days?
That's my understanding in current law.
Okay. Yeah, I really need to know for certain. You're saying it is 90 days.
That's my understanding of current law, gentlemen. My understanding of this is it was changed to 30.
Okay, and this proposes to reduce it to 30. All right. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Eubanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, on the return to work portion, is that just for teachers, or does it allow law enforcement?
It is everyone except 3 very specific categories, and that's dealing with, I think, administration, like superintendents, probably at the community college level, and at the other level. Those type folks, and elected officials, I believe.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
I'd move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, if we can, let's go back to item 11, House Bill 4067, and I'll move to recommit.
All right. Gentleman's motion on item 11, House Bill 4067, is to recommit. If you favor that motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 13, Senate Bill 2867. That has to be recognized to explain the report.
You're recognized to explain the report.
These are our fixes to the dependent child care, the tax credits for dependent child care and child care stipends. The program was not being used. This is to encourage employers to, let me back up. The program's been on the books for a while, but it was not being used. There was a $6,000 requirement. We lowered the requirement to, I believe, $3,000. Put some rebate language in there, and a little more incentive to incentivize employers to actually provide child care assistance for their employees. We got with the Senate, worked out that language, and this is where thankfully we're able to get a report filed. And so hopefully it'll be better utilized from now on. That's an explanation of the report, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I'd move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 14, Senate Bill 3109. It asks to be recognized to explain the report.
You're recognized to explain it.
So Senate Bill 3109 is a bill that's come through a few different times. This is dealing with the LaFleur's Bluff state-owned property. There is recently a nonprofit that is going to be operating that park and several different factors and factions of those state lands. And so this bill, if adopted, would keep that nonprofit from paying property tax. And there's never been any property tax there, but that's what the bill would do, would make sure that we remain status quo as far as that goes. That's an explanation.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 119 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 15, Senate Bill 3110. I'd move to recommit.
Gentleman's motion on item 15, Senate Bill 3110, is to recommit. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next item, gentlemen.
Item 16, Senate Bill 3111. Mr. Speaker, this bill deals with providing or exempting up to 10 different cases of wine that would be annually that would be donated to a nonprofit organization from the alcohol taxes. That's what the bill does.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
Move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 99 yeas, 11 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, item 17, Senate Bill 3124. I'd be asked to be recognized to explain that report.
You're recognized.
This is our Pregnancy Resource Act, revising certain provisions. There are some definitional provisions in here, as well as there would be changes mainly dealing with abortion and federal funding and things of that nature. And then also it would add individuals in addition to businesses that could participate in this program. And that is a general explanation of the report.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I would move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 93 yeas, 18 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
We'll skip 18 at this time and move on to 19, Senate Bill 3228.
Right. You're recognized to explain the report.
Thank you. This is our employee skills training. This is an existing program. We had, I think it's $1 million currently, and we've been back and forth with what number to land at, and we landed at in the report, I think $2.5 million for that increase. And that's, I believe that's the only change, Mr. Speaker.
Questions on the report? I see none, gentlemen.
I move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 120 yeas, 0 nays, the report's adopted. Next item, gentlemen.
Next, we go to item 20, Senate Bill 3229, and be asked to recognize to explain.
You are recognized to explain the report.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2026 Winter Storm Fern language that we have passed a couple different times, with there being a House bill as well as a Senate bill earlier in the session that would allow the Entergy Corporation to take advantage of the state's borrowing power and interest rates with a revenue bond that Entergy would be responsible for paying us back to basically pay for the damage that they incurred as a result of the storm. Doing it this way allows probably $200+ million of interest charges to be saved, because it would keep Entergy from going to get out a similar taking out a loan on a commercial market that would be obviously in the same principal amount, but at a much higher interest rate, and therefore saving those higher interest rate dollars and passing those savings on to the customers. And so this is really a no-brainer. As I've said before when we've talked about these bills, this is something that was done originally after Katrina with Mississippi Power down on the coast to help save ratepayers' funds, and this would be the same thing for North Mississippi.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With adjournment yield.
Be glad to, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, who will be eligible for the loans?
So Energy Corporation is going to receive the money, whatever the total cost of the storm cleanup and their cost for repairing their poles and different equipment that was damaged in the storm. This money would go to pay for that.
Okay, so it's not going to the customers; it's going to repair infrastructure damage.
Well,
I understand what you're saying, but
they keep, it's my understanding, they keep a certain amount of money in reserves.
Okay.
And the last number I heard that this was going to be $200 to $250+ million in cost, and that's a lot more than what they have in reserves. So they will be passing it on to the customers.
Right, and they're paying it back.
The customers will be paying it back. That's right.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I see no further questions, Chairman.
I'd move final adoption.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 121 yeas, 0 nays, the report is adopted. Anything further, gentlemen?
We would yield, Ways and Means would yield at this time.
All right, that moves us to in-conference general bills. I do see a few reports are filed through all of these. I won't attempt to go in order if that's okay with the body. I'll see does any chairman have a report they wish to take up? Gentleman from Union, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 61, Senate Bill 2726, move to adopt the conference report.
All right, is there any objection to advancing to item 61? The gentleman from Union. Hearing none, we'll follow that procedure. Gentlemen, you are recognized to explain that report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mississippi Opioid Settlement Fund Advisory Council. We passed this bill a couple of times out of this body, and in conference there were two substantive changes. One, we removed the guidelines for the locals. The guidelines were in place to kind of guide where the local settlement money could be spent. That has been removed. And the other part that changed was we gave the legislature the opportunity to change the amounts that the council recommended for the opioid grant applications. That's the two changes. That's an explanation of the bill.
Questions on the report? Gentleman from Lawrence, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Speaker. Gentleman, you.
Yes, sir.
This is a bill that you and I talked about earlier today, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question is, we went through this, I don't know, a week or so ago, and I had questioned you about whether there were any spending requirements, whether there were any accountability requirements, were there any kind of requirements other than for them to take the money from us. At that point, there wasn't. Are there any such now?
There are no requirements. We're talking about for the locals, correct?
Yeah.
There are no requirements. We got an opinion from the Attorney General where the cities and counties who started this lawsuit were seeking funds to replace money that they had already spent, and the Attorney General's office, in that opinion, said that's what the money is there for, to replace money they had spent.
Okay. So the presumption or assumption, if you want to call it whichever, of the Attorney General's office was that, in fact, the locals have spent money for opioid interdiction or whatever you want to call it.
That is correct. Or yes.
That they supposedly have, right?
Yes, sir.
We're not requiring them to give any evidence whatsoever that they've actually spent 1 cent in opioid interdiction or otherwise, are we?
No, sir, we're not requiring it.
And no requirements whatsoever of how they spend this, right? I think you already said that.
Correct.
And once they spend it, no requirement whatsoever of telling us how they spend it.
That is correct.
So the mayor and board of aldermen want to give themselves big raises and whatnot. That's fine. They can do that, right?
That is their right to do so.
Okay. So it just struck me, we have, and I know you're familiar with this too, as should be everybody else on this floor. We have a House committee known as Accountability, Efficiency, and Transparency. That's a House committee that we have. You're familiar with that committee, right?
Yes, sir.
And that committee's job, I presume, would be to make sure that whatever bills it deals with meet accountability, efficiency, and transparency requirements, right?
I would assume so, yes, sir.
Of course, we're not dealing with that committee right now, but we're dealing with those factors, right? And would you agree with me that in this bill there is no accountability, no efficiency, or no transparency requirements whatsoever? They don't even have to tell us how they spend it, period, if they don't want to, right?
The locals do not have to tell us. No,
Okay.
sir.
So there ain't no accountability, efficiency, or transparency in this bill, right?
Not for the locals. There is for the grant application
Okay,
process. Yes.
but not for the locals, and that's the ones that I'm concerned about.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Hullum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, you know I was coming to you. Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Two, matter of fact. When you're working in the lived experiences of the people with opioid addictions, shouldn't they have a say in the research, the treatment, and how this money should be given to prevent opioid deaths?
Should who have a say?
The family members with lived experience and traumatic experiences who went through these opioid
Yes, sir.
addictions.
There are family members on this council.
Yes, I understand the family member on the council, but they do not have a say in where the money and who gets the money, correct? Going to the treatment.
They did have a say. Yes, sir.
So so the locals can give the money to them and not spend it on buying.
Now, are we referring to the local money in this?
Yes.
All right. The local money in this bill, this bill has nothing to do with the local money other than the previous bill we had passed with a strike-all had guidelines for the locals.
Yes.
That was it. It doesn't address anything else for the locals, nor did it ever until we interjected those guidelines. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because don't you feel that the bulk of this money should go to opioid addiction and treatment facilities?
Yes, sir, and that's why we put it in the bill originally. I personally do believe it should go to treatment abatement.
Okay, and I understand you was you fell short of that, but can you agree to try this again and put a repeal or something there so we can try this again?
We can try this again. There's money going to be coming to the state for the next 14 years. So we can try this again next year. But as far as this bill is concerned, no, this is ready to go.
And can you agree with me to disagree that this money from this national money came down to the state of Mississippi because of the opioid addiction and abuse and the lived experiences from the people who lost their lives and loved ones to this, and it should go to preventing opioid deaths and overdose in our underserved communities, in our schools, in our small towns and hamlets in Mississippi. Do you agree with me on that?
I do agree, and that's what this council represents, is those people who lost their lives and those families whose lives have changed. Hopefully we honor them by thwarting this addiction issue.
Yes, but the money is not getting to them because they can use the money for different things that was taken out of the bill.
The local money can be spent however they want to right now. Yes, sir.
And so can we work on this again come next year, since this year's already gone? The ship has sailed?
In this bill, yes, sir. We can do this again. Again, we got 14 years to deal with this.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Faulkner, he passes. Gentleman from Copiah, Mr. Holloway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman Yale.
Yes, sir.
What did you say the
major responsibility of this advisory council was?
The advisory council reviews the applications and then makes recommendations to this body or to the legislature in the original bill, and then we said yes or no to each application and the amount. With the change that we made recently, we can actually change the amount.
Okay, so where in one of the appropriation bills, I believe it was 3053 maybe, where Mississippi State and Ole Miss received $700,000 apiece for from the opioid settlement. So what are they going to do with that $1.4 million?
I don't recall that I mean, I do recall the application. I don't remember the details of it. There were 127 applications. I don't remember, Mr. Holloway, what that one did exactly. I can find out.
So the process is, if another IHL institution wanted to make an application for some, I guess, $700,000 for another university, maybe in Southwest Mississippi, to do the same thing, we just simply have to apply for it?
The grant application process will open up again this spring. Every university, is open to apply for this. Yes, sir. USM had application as well, and several nonprofits. Like I said, there were 127 applications. We did, with our revisions to the council this year, we're planning on hiring a third party that will help universities, that will help nonprofits be able to navigate through the application process.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I see no further questions, gentlemen.
Final adoption.
He moves adoption. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the report, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 117 yeas, 1 nay, the report is adopted.
Mr. Speaker, may I ask for immediate release?
Gentleman requests immediate release of this report. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure. Any other chairman have a conference report they wish to take up, a filed conference report on the in-conference general bills calendar? I see a few others are filed. I see no one seeking recognition. Gentleman from Tate, Mr. Lamar, for what purpose?
Mr. Speaker, we need to go back, if the chamber will allow, to item 17 that just passed, Senate Bill number 3124, dealing with the Pregnancy Resource Act, and we need to reconsider the vote by which that passed.
All right. Item 17 on the in-conference Ways and Means.
Yes, sir.
Senate Bill 3124.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman's motion is to reconsider the vote whereby that conference report was adopted. If you favor the gentleman's motion to reconsider, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. It's back before us, gentlemen.
And at this time, I'd move to recommit for further conferencing.
Gentleman's motion is to recommit. I see no one seeking recognition. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Gentleman from Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With regard to the veto of HB 895, I would move to refer the bill HB 895 back to the Business and Commerce Committee.
Right. Gentleman's motion with regard to the vetoed bill is that it be recommitted to the conference, to the committee from whence it came. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Anything further, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. With unanimous consent on Senate Bill 2566, which was the cosmetology bill, we are asking to delete a couple of things out of the short title that are no longer in the bill. And so that's what the unanimous consent request is. The things that were originally in the bill in the short title, and at the end, they weren't in there. So just trying to.
Gentleman's requesting
get that
unanimous
cleaned up.
consent to conform the short title to what the bill actually did, if I understand his request. Anyone have a question on the gentleman's request? Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure, gentlemen. All right, no other chairman has an item they wish to take up. Gentleman from Union, for what purpose?
Also in regards to the governor's veto on another bill.
All right.
On House Bill 1152, I'd like to refer it back to public health.
All right, gentleman's motion is to recommit the vetoed bill back to his committee from whence it came. If you favor that motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Gentleman from Grenada, Mr. Horan.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know if this is appropriate time, I don't know where you are, but when Chairman Reed was at the well, I was helping him out back here in the back, and I failed to push him yay on number 4, Appropriations Bill, House Bill number 1894, and I anticipate he would have voted yay for that. I'd like to vote, change that vote.
All right. Record a gentleman's vote. Gentleman from Coahoma, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to have unanimous consent to change my vote on House Bill 1909 from nay to yay.
$19.09, correct, gentlemen? Gotcha. Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to request unanimous consent to change my vote on item number 3, page 1, House Bill 1893 from nay to yay.
Is there objection? Change the lady's vote.
Thank you.
Before we get into final today, did any other chairman have an item on the calendar? We had not gotten to a few of the other calendars. I see the chairman of local private. Would you come forward, gentlemen? I think that would conclude us. Does any other chairman have an item? My board's lit up, I think, with votes and adjourning memories. All right, where are we going, gentlemen from Wayne?
Bill 4112 on the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar, and move to concur.
We're on the in-conference general bills.
This will be concurrence, non-concurrence.
All right. You are recognized to explain the changes.
Thank you. The Senate, all they did was remove the repealer of this bill. There's some language in the bill that states that the authority to levy the tax shall be repealed on the first day of the month, immediately succeeding payment in full of the principal and interest on the bond. So there was no need for a traditional repealer in this one.
Questions? Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness, he passes. I see no questions. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the concurrence motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 121 yeas, 0 nays, the concurrence motion prevails. Anything further, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. I'd like to go to the local and private calendar and skip down to number 20, House Bill 4172. Call it up, make the usual motions.
All right. Gentleman calls the bill up, moves the rules be suspended, the bill considered engrossed read the third time and placed on final passage. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized, gentlemen, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to move we adopt the committee sub in lieu of the original bill.
Gentleman moves to adopt the committee sub for consideration in lieu of the original bill. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. You're recognized to explain the committee sub.
Thank you. This bill comes to us from Jackson County. They are wishing to establish a public improvement district which would come with a 1% retail assessment. There would be a PID board created by the Board of Supervisors there, and this special local option tax would only apply to the 160-acre improvement district there. It does have a 6-year repealer. There's some construction going on there, so we're giving them 2 years to construct this facility and then 4 years to collect the tax. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Questions on the bill? I see none, gentlemen.
Final passage.
He moves final passage. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 117 yeas, 0 nays, bill passes. Anything further, gentlemen?
I'd like to ask immediate release on that last one.
Gentlemen request immediate release of this item. Is there objection? Hearing none, we will follow that procedure. Lady from Lincoln, Ms. Curry.
Adjourn in memory.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to adjourn in memory of Stephanie Russian Renault. She, at 51 years old, passed away in her home on her anniversary. She had 2 children, and in a couple of months would have had her first grandchild. At age 15, she joined a family quartet and sang gospel songs. Thank you.
Thank you, lady. We will certainly do that. Gentleman from Jefferson, Mr. Harness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On page 5, item 54, I would like to be voted yea for myself and my desk mate, the gentleman from Hines.
All right. Record the gentleman's votes. Gentleman from Prentice, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to have unanimous consent to change my vote on page 9, item 22, Senate Bill 3111, from a yea to a nay.
Is there objection? Gentleman from Washington's got some major concerns back there. Hearing none, change the gentleman's vote. Gentleman from Pike, Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a request and an adjourn in memory.
Yes, sir. State your request.
My request is to ask unanimous consent on item number 54, House Bill 3091, to have my vote changed to not voting.
All right. Is there objection? Change the gentleman's vote.
And I'd like to ask the House to adjourn in memory of the First Lady of Summit, Ms. Georgia Robinson. Thank you.
All right. We will certainly do that. Lady from Humphreys, Ms. James Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to request a unanimous consent to change myself and my desk mate on the Ways and Means in conference calendar, item number 8, page 8, from yes to no.
Is there objection? Change the lady's vote. Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to hold item number 14, page 2, under in-conference appropriations on a motion.
Lady, could you restate your request? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I know it's difficult for y'all to hear. It's difficult up here, too.
Item number 14, House Bill 1909, on a motion, please.
All right. Please notify the chairman. All right, before we adjourn for the night, we're going to suspend business very briefly to be sure we've got everything covered that we need to be covering regarding deadlines. So we're going to suspend business for about 5 minutes, and then we will entertain a motion to hopefully get out of here. Y'all bear with us just a minute. Those reports will have to be filed tonight. I believe the gentleman's aware of that. I don't think there were any others in that space besides his, but they would need to be filed tonight because they're not exempt from the layover. Appropriations bills are, so we're good on those, but just to be sure about revenue. All right, before we adjourn, lady from Lowndes, Ms. McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With unanimous consent, I'd like to change my vote on number 14, Appropriations in Conference Calendar, HB 1909, from nay to yay.
All right, is there objection? Change the lady's vote. Gentleman from Oktibbeha, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is just a question.
Yes, sir.
I have some people who are who we want to recognize for. I'm losing my mind for some reason. What do you call? What am I talking about when we? No. When we not proclamations, resolutions. Do we have an estimate of time of how long we'll be here to see if we can adjust them up or down the calendar?
These are resolutions that you've yet to pass and rules?
No, they've been passing rules. We just need to kind of alert the families to be here in a,
So we've already passed the resolution. You're honoring constituents or
That's right.
groups. I anticipate we will be here probably through Wednesday or Thursday. I think we'll be done. I hate to even say this. I'll knock on plenty of wood right here. I expected us to be gone no later than Thursday, but y'all know when I say that, it'll break loose. Mr. Bailey's smiling because he knows it's true. So if everything holds, if you are going to honor someone, I would want them, if I were you, I would have them here by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, just to be sure.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
If that changes or we hear, you'll know by the time I know, but I wouldn't chance it past Wednesday. Gentleman from Bolivar, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Adjourn in memory, please.
Yes, sir.
Today, I'd like to adjourn in memory of Mr. Kenneth Smith and Betty Mosley, who was longtime Alcorn alums from Bolivar County. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We will certainly do that. All right, I see no further announcements. I will recognize the gentleman from Rankin for the motion.
I move that the House stand adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow and ask that the journal remain open until the last conference report is filed.
All right. Gentleman's motion is that the House stand adjourned till 9 a.m. tomorrow and that the journal remain open until the last conference report is filed tonight. How about this? Come when you can. We'll start at 9. Y'all seem to be adept at that anyway. If you favor the gentleman's motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. It's demanded, it is denied. House stand adjourned till 9 a.m. tomorrow.